Welcome to chapter 31 of Tales of a Light Pigmented Chap. That's the dumbest one yet, by far. Sorry about all these podcasts being late every single week. It's because the comedy festival's on, and I was touring with Lewis, as you all know, and pretty much the week gets ahead of me, and last night was my very first show, and the Monday I was out filming all day with some of the online guy. I was filming with Frenchie, Josh Wade, Elliot Loney, Lewis, and I've been very busy this week just doing stuff for the festival, and then it got to yesterday before the show, and I was like, I didn't do the podcast yesterday. And then I was like, well, I'm not going to do it the night before my first show because I had to think about the show all day and had to organize a bunch of stuff for that last minute. And it turns out I got there and I'd sold like 2/3 of the tickets, I reckon. And I was like, oh, this is going to be awesome. What a cool opening night. And then 5 minutes before the show, my producer comes into my dressing room and goes, oh, you've sold it out. You've sold out the show. And I was like, what? And apparently a bunch of people just rocked up on the door. So thank you guys for coming, but just book earlier next time. Don't freak me out. I wasn't freaked out about that one, but it's the worst when it's great when people come on the door because they're supporting you and coming to your show. But if you gotta come, just buy the tickets online, thank you. The first show, my first ever Melbourne Comedy Festival show was sold out, which is pretty much every performer's dream. So I can't thank you enough. I was super happy with it. The show just destroyed. I should have recorded it tonight. I'm going to record every other show because I did the dumbest bit of crowd work I've ever done, but didn't get it recorded, which was annoying. It was funny because I got like 15 minutes into the show and I was like, oh, I haven't really spoken to anyone in the crowd. I've just been doing material. So I was like, all right, let's do some obligatory crowd work. And I was like, what's your name? To the dude in the front row, and he was like, Brady. And I was like, what are you supposed to do with Brady? And I was like, oh, did you bring your bunch with ya? And look, saying that now, it's the least funny thing I've ever said on stage, I think. But in context, this is why I wish I had the audio to prove it. I think it got the biggest laugh of the night. I had to stop for about 30 seconds and wait for people to stop laughing. And it's such a bad story to tell on the podcast because it is 100% you had to be there. And I don't have the audio, so I can't even give you the experience of being there. So really, I've just told a story about me telling a shit joke on my opening night and everyone just frothing it and getting around it. So, but thanks so much to everyone who came. So I don't think people realize, but I'm performing every night now for the next 11 nights, because tonight is number 2. So I'm doing 12 nights in Melbourne. I've already done 1, so I've got 11 more nights to go. And it's Tuesday to Sunday. So the only days I'm not doing is next Monday. So yeah, get down one night. This Thursday is already sold out. The last weekend is already sold out. So if you want to come to that, get down. There's still a few more tickets, I think, for this Easter weekend, because some people are going away, but I think they'll fill up real last minute again, and they'll probably sell out too. So please come down, don't miss out. The feedback I had after the show was incredible. Everyone loved it. People came from Geelong, which was really cool. That's like an hour and a half away, and they said it was worth it. So you know what? Get down, and I'll make you laugh. And especially if your name's Brady, come back, because I want to do that bit of crowd work again and record it for the podcast, because that is a hilarious joke. Where's your bunch? Because of the TV show. That's what people go like, oh, I think people get annoyed sometimes because they meet you in person. They're like, oh, you're not that funny. And I'm like, no. Like, it takes me an hour. No, sorry, it takes me a year to be funny for an hour. You know what I mean? Like, people are disappointed when, like, yeah, the show is hilarious, but that took me a year to write, and then people just expect me to just, like, make all these good-ass jokes just by going off the name Brady. All right, the bunch is all you're going to get. That's the only thing that correlated in my mind with Brady. It was the first thing that came to my head, so I said it, and, that's the kind of crowd work that you can expect when you come to my show. Just 4 out of 10, I will associate your name with something else. But yeah, I don't want to talk about the show for too long because I've been talking about stand-up for like the last forever in this podcast. So let's talk about something different. I've actually been in my own little world, because I've been doing all the shows and I've been going on planes and just traveling around everywhere, and all I've been thinking about is stand-up comedy, I realized that I have not paid any attention to what's happening in the news for about 6 weeks. Like, Donald Trump could have died, and I probably wouldn't know. Like, I'm going to Google it. Is Donald Trump still president? Is Donald Trump still president? And the first result is, get a fucking life, you dickhead. Everyone knows that, yes. So, yeah, fair enough. That's fair, Google. But, yeah, that's the point. I just haven't been paying attention to anything. It's actually the most self-absorbed thing ever, like stand-up. Like, it's weird, because I haven't even been to any, like, it's the year of 21st. Like, I just turned 21 a couple of weeks ago, as you heard on the podcast, and I just, I haven't even been to any 21st, because I've been performing. I worked out for pretty much 11 weekends in a row. I've had gigs Friday and Saturday night. So I haven't been able to go to, like, any 21st or anything for a couple of months, and it's so antisocial. I actually feel bad, because some of them are, like, good friends of mine, and I always try and rush thereafter, but the gigs always finish so late, and by the time you stick around and meet everyone at the end and stuff, it's so hard. So I feel like I've just been under my own little rock for, like, 2 weeks. So now I thought, to catch myself up, and maybe to catch up you guys, if you guys were also been living under a rock for the last 2 months, I'm just going to go to news.com.au, and let's just go down and see what I've missed. I realise now news.com.au isn't the best place to go for news, but I don't like actual news though. Like, news about Syria and stuff, it's like, yeah, it's important, but it depresses me. And let's be honest, this is Memoirs of a White Guy, okay? This is about white privilege, so I really want to know about what's been happening with the Kardashians. What's the bet there'll be a story on the Kardashians? Alright, news.com is up. The first, this is why it's not real news. Alright, the first story is sheer cricket lunacy. Man scores 92 runs off 4 balls. It's just a news about cricket. And it's like, they have like different sections of news, like national, world, lifestyle, travel, entertainment news, technology, finance. And this is legitimately just under cricket. Like, it's not even under sport. It's just there's cricket news. So that's actually interesting news. Some guy got 92 runs from 4 legal deliveries. So there was so many no balls that he kept scoring runs off that he almost got a century off 4 balls. Mate, that bowler would have got fired. I'm assuming it's like under 12s cricket. See, that's a bloody interesting story, and I would have missed that if I hadn't have done the podcast. I would have been in my own little world, and someone would have been like, hey man, what's the most amount of runs anyone's got in cricket of 4 deliveries in Bangladesh? And now I can be like, 92, mate. Everyone knows that, because, I read the news. I read the serious, intellectual, important news stories that pretty much shake the nation. I'm sure everyone else heard about this. I bet you everyone else listening to this is like, mate, we all know about the 92 runs off 4 balls. That was 3 weeks ago. Alright, next news story that I missed out on. Oh, that's creepy. Missing face. People scream run away in fear. A Chinese woman whose lips and nose fell off. Oh, she just has a missing face. Oh, that's creepy. I can't even describe that. Her face is not there anymore. What's another good one? Oh my god, there is a Kardashian one. Kardashian selfie that's enraging the internet. How is this news? I know I've ranted about this before on the podcast, but news.com, bullshit.com, or shit I don't care about.com, or ifailedjournalism.com, or my parents put me through 3 years of university and this is my job.com, hashtag I'm a failure, hashtag I use hashtags in articles because I'm not a real journalist. Okay, let's go. The Kardashian selfie that's enraging the internet. Pictures posted by the Kardashian sisters to their millions of Instagram followers have been met with a swift backlash online. So many why? What do they do? I don't get what they did. They just posted pictures of themselves and people hated it. That's it. The posters aren't even like raunchy. They're just them standing in a hotel and people hated it. Yeah, people hated it because they're not real celebrities. They don't have any talent. I hated it, but I'm not going to write a news article about it. I'll just talk about it on a shitty Australian comedy podcast that a very small minority of the population listen to. But okay, I'm done with this, man. This is not news. I'm so sick. Let's go on another news. 9MSN. Is this better or worse? Oh, this has got news about North Korea. High stakes for US in war against North Korea. That's interesting. But then, oh no, wait, this ruins it. Then the very story below that is woman creates fence peephole for neighbor's curious dog. So that's, how do you go from, like, how do you go from high stakes for US in war against North Korea to woman makes fence peephole for neighbor's curious dog? And like, that's on the same level of news. And then the one below that is eager elephant snatches banana from the crane. Actually, I want to read that. What a cheeky elephant. Who steals? I don't have the balls to steal anything from the monarchy, but yet an elephant. Let's read this news article together. This is, man, I'm so glad I'm catching up on the news because I would have missed this. An elephant stealing a banana from the queen is something I have to see. So I'm going to click onto the article. Actually, you know what? You know it's just going to be, I bet you, I'll click on it. Yep, it's a banana grabs an elephant out of the, oh no, wait. The elephant grabs a banana out of the queen's hand. That's all that happened. Could you imagine, could you imagine if a banana grabbed an elephant out of the queen's hand? Now that'd be news. That would be first page Herald Sun. Banana grows arms, lifts entire elephant out of Queen Elizabeth's hands at the zoo. Now that's a news story for you. I just said that in the wrong way, but it made it way funnier. Actually, I did that on stage the other night. But yeah, you know what's funny about that? People like, I think because people don't realize when you do stand-up, because you've done the jokes a fair few times usually, I'm thinking more about the next joke. This is going to be weird to understand, but I'm saying one joke, but my head's sometimes in a completely different space, thinking about the next joke, or, you know what I mean? Like, it's almost like sometimes you can go on a bit on not on autopilot, but just like, I'm always kind of 2 steps of the audience, ahead of the audience, like just thinking ahead of how am I going to make the next joke hit, set up this one, make the next joke hit even harder kind of thing. And then occasionally, like 1% of the time when you're in that headspace of thinking about the next bit, in my head I was supposed to say, I hate it when people talk on their phones in the cinema, and then what came out was just cinemas on the phone, and everyone was like, what? And everyone thought that was just part of the joke. But no, it wasn't. That would make no sense. Anyway, so what else has been going on? I've been trying to film the 3rd You Don't Own Me video. Here's the thing, I'm going to do one more. Everyone keeps on messaging me going, oi bro, when's the next, sorry, I just assume they're talking this first. Oi bro, when's the next You Don't Own Me video, man? Like, I only watch Lad Bible videos, so like, unless you're going to make more viral content, I'm unlocking your page. So that's pretty much the most common thing I get asked on my page is, when's part 3? When's part 3? I will do one more You Don't Own Me video, okay? The last one. We're going to do one final revolt. It's going to be the best one yet. I filmed like half of it already. It's way funnier than the second one, I think. But I want to film it good and make sure it's not shit. So I was trying to release it before my Melbourne show started, but I need rollerblades. Does anyone know where I can get rollerblades from? Like, hire them or anything? Like, anyone want to lend me like size 11 rollerblades? Just hit me up on my Facebook page, because I actually need rollerblades, and I was looking for them for the last one as well. But yeah, anyone got any like rollerblades who lives in Melbourne? That'd be bang on. I will just thank you forever. Anyway, so if you know anyone with rollerblades, or you can get me size 11 to 12 rollerblades, I need those for the 3rd You Don't Own Me video. I've been trying to hustle them up for ages. That's kind of why the video's not out yet. But yeah, so I'll do one more You Don't Own Me video. I've been filming that this week. It's pretty funny. It's so stupid when you're filming those like dumb memes, because I've been writing a lot of kind of longer form content, like the music reviews, and I'm gonna try and start a new series in May before the rest of my tour, because I get about a month off after Melbourne finishes. But just when the shows are on, it's so hard to put out consistent content, and I'm going to try my best. Like, even with the podcast and stuff, I was like, oh, I've got to think about the show tonight. Nah, got to do the podcast. So if the podcast gets a bit shit over the course of the comedy festival, I do apologize. I'm gonna have a couple of guests on. I think next week there'll be a guest with either Josh Wade or Frenchie or someone like that. So that'll be a really interesting podcast. I made this is what I was going to talk about. The reason why I brought up the third You Don't Owe Me video was because I had to make the saddest phone call of my life this week. It was just depressing, and I felt bad for my mum because the phone call was with my mum. And, like, she put me through 13 years of schooling to have me call her and ask her if she can buy some kids' speed dealers with orange and red flames on the side. I was like, oi, so, because I bought them, I wanted identical ones to the last video because mine broke. The Sunnies broke. I was absolutely devastated. I was like, I need another pair, or how am I going to film You Don't Know Me Part 3? You know, the memes, it requires sunglasses, that video. I was like, I need to buy another pair. I don't know, and I forgot where I got them from. Then I remembered I got them from Phillip Island, because we have like a place down there. And I had to call my mum, like me, a grown, now 21-year-old male, was like, hey mum, can you go to the Asian store next to the Woolworths and buy, so walk to the left and go to the sunglasses section. She's like, yeah, I'm at the sunglasses. I'm like, now look at the kids' sunglasses section. She's like, yep. And I'm like, do you see the ones with flames on the side that are red? And she's like, there's ones with the yellow flames. And I'm like, no, we know we don't want yellow flames. We want orange flames, red. And I had to describe these sunglasses. And she's like, they're pretty small. Are you sure they'll fit? I'm like, no, they're supposed to be small. And then she's like, they're $10. Are you sure you want to spend $10 on kids' sunglasses with flames on the side? I was like, yes. 100% yes, I'll get. And then she was like, all right, I'll get them for you, but you're going to give me the money when I get home. What a she would have driven 2 hours home and been just like, I bought meme sunglasses for my 21-year-old son so he can make another shitty viral video and maybe sell tickets to his little comedy show. And she just must have driven, imagine the disappointment. And she was like, oh, these are the sunglasses, where's the $10? It's like, here's the... Poor mum, man, she's so supportive. She just didn't even question it. I was like, well, you know what? I knew she would have thought about it. I was like, what a sad conversation to have with, you know, the light of your life, your youngest child, and as he makes his way into the big adult world, and he's buying kids' sunnies with flames on the side. Oh, man. So what's next? Before we do the questions, we forgot to do the fun fact. Damn it, I've been wondering why. I just was like, just kind of droning on, and I was like, we haven't done a fact. That's why I haven't been having fun. Alright, let's do the fun fact. Let's get it over with. If you've never heard this segment before, essentially, like, think of the funnest thing you've ever done. Have you got it in your head? Have you got it? Alright, now imagine doing that thing on space, like in space without gravity. So that pretty much times the fun by 10. So you've got that. You're doing the funnest thing you've ever done in space with no gravity. Unless you chose skydiving, that would not helpful, because then if you were like, oh, I'm just floating. So hopefully you didn't choose skydiving, but if you said like eating M&Ms, imagine doing that in space. You just flick them at other people and they slowly travel through the air. That would be the shit. So think of that level of fun, M&Ms eating in space. Now times that by 4, then imagine you'd had like a lifetime supply of Chupa Chups, your favorite flavor, whether that's cola or whatever, and then in every time it's hot, someone passes you a Zupa Duper, and you get given the ability to grow full-size eagle wings whenever you want. And then imagine how fun your life would be. And that's pretty much what the fun fact does to every listener every single damn week on this podcast. People go, oh, it just talks about his wife problems. He just kind of complains a bit. And, you know, it's a good podcast, but he just complains. No, I make people's lives, okay? I grow wings. I'm like Red Bull. I give you wings. So, you know, but mine, I more give you like figurative wings that you can fly the rest of the day emotionally, knowing that you're peaking that hard at the level of fun you've had on the podcast. Anyway, the point is, it's a hella fun fact. So let's just read into it. This one was sent in by, his name was just Yang on Snapchat. So the fun fact for this week is, In the 19th century, Victorian men used to clip the pubes off their husband or wives and turn them into jewelry and wear them as souvenirs. Well, I actually don't think that's a fact now. You've said that, well, because in Victorian times, you weren't allowed to have a husband if you were a man. So, also in modern times in Australia, you're not allowed to have a husband if you're a man. So, that really shows you the amount of progression we've seen since the 19th century. I think we can all agree that's a pretty fun fact. Sound the fun fact horn. Alrighty, let's hope I remembered to put it in this week. Did I remember last week? I forget. And then he said, this is a follow-up fun fact. So if you guys already hadn't exploded yet from the fun, Yang followed it up with this. If that's not fun enough for you, Nick Vujovic, some stupid dude with no arms or legs, for some reason is a painter. And it's funny because he paints portraits of himself with limbs. And he's attached a picture of a man with no arms and no legs just on a stage painting. So, Jesus Christ, that's a fun overload. Man, that's the thing. Like, some of the facts I can't get sent in because most of them are like twice as bad as that. Like, 90% of the fun facts I get sent in are Holocaust related, and I've already done that, so I've already had that kind of fun. You know, that I like to call it Hitler fun. You know what I mean? Like Hitler fun. I've already had Hitler fun. Let's move on to different kinds of fun. But the pubic hair one was pretty good because it kind of made me realize how fun we've progressed as a society. You know, like, oh, they didn't have gay marriage, we still don't. They were bigoted, we're still bigoted. You know, people were fucked then, people are still fucked now. The people who were leading the country then had no idea what they were doing. The people who are leading the country now, you get what I mean. Just a hell of a lot of fun. That was a bit of social commentary there, because I obviously do support gay marriage, and that was the joke, that it's incredibly messed up that isn't a thing in Australia yet. Anyway, social commentary aside, let's do the questions. Hope you enjoyed the fun fact. Whew! I'm actually sweating. I'm a fun overload. Anyway, I just realized, I just looked at the ticket sales then for tonight. I think tonight could almost go close to selling out on a Wednesday, which is crazy. So if you're going to book the weekends, get on that shit for the show. Actually, before we do the questions, I'm going to do a frequently asked question thing about my shows, because I'm sick of telling everyone the same shit. The 3 most common questions I get messaged on my page about my show. The first one is always, yes, I do meet everyone after the shows. If you want a photo, take photos. I speak to everyone after the shows, but some people come up to you before. Just wait till after, and I'll have a chat with you, just because beforehand I'm usually like zoning in or running around doing something, getting organised. So I speak to everyone after the shows. That's all the interstate shows as well. I get photos with everyone. I wait around. There's the merch for sale. People keep asking me about the merch. The merch is t-shirts at $20, and it's got the "You Don't Owe Me." If you want to see the picture of the t-shirt, watch my videos. I'm wearing it sometimes, and it's got the little orange crown. It says "You Don't Owe Me." The shirts are selling really well, because I realize people just want to wear the shirt because they think it's a cool shirt. They're not even buying it because they particularly like me that much. They're like, oh, I rate that shirt, I'm going to buy one. So, yeah, the shirts are $20, which I think is pretty reasonable. I'm actually making jack shit off that, but, you know what, I think it's cool when people wear shirts around. So, and then the posters are $10, and I'll sign your poster or whatever. Those are the 2 main ones I get asked. What else? The 18 plus thing. Look, message my page, because I don't know how much I'm allowed to say on the podcast, but read the website. It's 18 plus, the venue in Melbourne. Sydney is all ages. The other shows are 18 plus, and underage people are allowed in with a legal guardian or parent. You'll not get questioned at all if you're with your actual dad. If you're with someone who's pretending to be a dad, I've seen that happen before. I couldn't care less. That's the thing. People go, oh, is it okay if I come? I don't give a shit, but it's not my responsibility if you get knocked back at the door. Use a fake ID, use whatever you want. I couldn't care less. It's the venue's policy, not mine. It sucks that it's 18 plus, but it's the venue's policy, not mine. I think underage people have come to the shows, but it's not. If you get turned away, it's not my fault. It's the venues, and there's nothing I can do about it. So do what you will. I'm not your mum. I'm not sure how strict they'll be at the venues and stuff. But message my Facebook page if you want more information about that one. What else about the shows? Also, get there on time. The show starts at 8:30. So just get there at 8:30. Sometimes people are always walking in as the show's already started. So the show will start at 8:30. So get there at 8, but before 8:30. Or whenever the time is for the interstate shows. I forget what time. Melbourne is 8:30. The other shows are like 7:30. I don't know. Check the website for the details. And that's pretty much all the information. Those are the two main questions I think I got asked. Will I meet everyone afterwards? And some people ask me, is the show good? Yes, it's good. I don't know really how to prove it. I think I will start screenshotting what people say, and I don't want to. That's a bit douchey. But yeah, I've been getting really good feedback after the shows. Everyone tells me that they drove 2 hours or whatever, and they're glad they did, and they'll be coming back next year. So yeah, everyone else's reviews have been really good. I don't get in reviewers. I decided the festival asks you if do you want reviewers to come on a night? I'm like, I'm not giving some fucking moron who sees 4 shows a night free tickets to my show so it can. And it's not like I'm scared of getting a bad review. I'm just like, no one's looking at my poster going, oh, what did the Herald Sun say about Luke's show? You guys come because you want to see me perform live. And you know what I mean? I don't need some dude from the Herald Sun who doesn't know me and, you know what I mean? To tell me my show's good. I'm like, I know it's good. So, yeah, that's why I don't have reviews and stuff on my poster. Also, the reason why I don't have any reviews or quotes or anything on my poster is because it's my first ever year. I've never done the show before. So, I hope you guys, look, pretty much speak to anyone who's been to the show. I'm sure they can tell you it's good. But yeah, the shows are selling out so far, so people are coming, which is the coolest shit. It's seriously my dream coming true. What's happening at the moment, people are coming to the shows, and that's really all I ever wanted out of this. So thank you very much to everyone. Not to say I don't like doing the podcast. I love doing the podcast. The podcast is actually probably my second favorite content to make. My favorite thing is performing on stage. Then I like doing the podcast. And videos probably comes in third because editing. I love filming the videos, but editing sucks. I think anyone who does editing shit will realize that sucks. Anyway, I'm rambling. Let's do the questions. I only have one good question this week again. Because half of them are always shit. So I'm not even. I used to answer the shit ones, and now I'm just not going to answer them. So what's it? This is from Ben. Hey mate, love your stuff. Keep it going. If you could instantly pick up any skill right now, what skill would you get? Cheers. That's a good question. I just thought that was interesting. I reckon I would do something that's just instantly impressive. That could just impress someone. Probably violin. Something that not many people could do. But for example, I can play guitar, but guitar isn't impressive. No one's ever impressed with that douchebag at a house party who whips out the acoustic guitar and goes, this one's a little ditty called Wonderwall. And he's like, today is gonna be the day. And everyone's like, shut the fuck up. Just get your shitty little 6-stringed instrument out of my house and don't ever refer to an Oasis song as a little ditty again. So that's pretty much what I wouldn't pick guitar because I can play guitar, but I'm not a master.